The most important thing is to match the hinge with that extension of the bell. So let's not worry so much about how high that bell goes. The main purpose is to load the hinge and get into that hip extension at the top of the position as explosively as possible. So the best cue you can think of is standing up tall as you can, as fast as you can. When you stand up tall, that's gonna help you engage your entire core as you get into that posterior tilt, so you can engage your glutes and engage your hamstrings, engage your anterior core. Everything is gonna be nice and tight. So that way, as you go back into the hinge, we can avoid loading the lower back as much as possible. You're gonna be combining the hinge, that extension. As you finish that extension, you're gonna get into the clean. Once you get into the rack position, then you're going to press the bell. So there's a lot of moving parts here. It's a fantastic exercise for building posterior strength, shoulder strength, grip strength, and basically your entire core will benefit from this movement. So there's a number of ways that we can regress or progress it, but the main thing here is to understand with the clean, that is a lower body exercise. So even though we're finishing with the upper body, it's primarily standing up tall as quickly as possible. With the press, maintaining as much tension as possible.
Whether you're doing it with the right or you're doing it with the left, think about swinging that kettlebell up with just a little bit more force than would be needed for a clean. And just like the clean, you're gonna actually try to start pulling that kettlebell towards your torso. Once it's pulled towards your torso, that's gonna accelerate the bell up over your head. And about 75% up on that kettlebell snatch, you're gonna start to actually insert your hand into the kettlebell and grip the handle, and then it will slowly slide back into that overhead extension. So think about your wrist, elbow, ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle all being in one perfectly straight line once you're stacked in that top position of the snatch. And from there, you're gonna cast the kettlebell down and swing it through and then switch sides. You're gonna be holding with the kettlebell on top of the forearm and then the handles around your hands, and then you're overhead pressing. So think about holding those kettlebells in a rack position, and then you're gonna sort of bring your elbows out, open up your chest, bring those shoulders down and back. Think proud chest and squeeze the scapula or the shoulder blades in the back together. As you do that, that creates a strong, stable surface. If you need to, you can bend the knees a little bit, bend the hips a little bit, engage the abs. You want a strong vertical core and a strong, stable lower body as you then press those kettlebells up overhead. You're gonna press fully extended and then come all the way back down to that rack position. The kettlebell floor press will be done obviously laying on the ground, and you're gonna be holding the kettlebells. The kettlebell will be slightly pressing on the forearm. So it will be important for you to have proper insertion in the kettlebell handle so that it's resting on your forearm in a comfortable fashion. If it's uncomfortable, feel free to get kettlebell guards or sweatbands for the wrist as a slight padding for the kettlebell to rest on. A lot of people are adamantly against the wrist guard, but if it is going to help you improve your strength by continuing to do kettlebell work, absolutely get it. So the floor press, you're pressing just like a bench press, lying on your back, elbows at a 45-degree angle, and you're going to be pressing up to full lockout and then coming all the way back down.
It's a fantastic way to engage your upper body, build grip strength, build core strength, and get your shoulder into the appropriate position before pressing. So you're not gonna be able to elevate your shoulder as you do this. You're gonna have to engage your lat and get yourself into a nice vertical forearm alignment. This is a great way to increase tension while maintaining proper breathing and creating a nice solid alignment. With the goblet squat, you're gonna wanna get into a slightly wider than hip width stance to externally rotate your feet just a little bit, so that way, as you come down, that's gonna open up the hips. So as you come down, you wanna make sure your knees are coming out over your toes. As you're holding onto the kettlebell by the horns, you're going to pull your shoulders back, depress your shoulder blades, and try to keep as tight a torso as possible. Make sure you keep as long a spine as possible so that you don't flex under the pressure of the weight. So increase that intra-abdominal tension.